Hey, what's going on guys, it's Tom here, back today with another video, and back today with some more Black Ops 2 news. And today I'm going to be covering the perks that come into Black Ops 2. I'm going to be specifically covering the tier 1 perks, the blue perks. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of analysis of them and just kind of talking about perks in general. So firstly, starting off, I want to just tell you that perks have kind of changed this year, and they've actually made quite a big change, which I think is going to affect the balance of the game. So what they've actually changed this year is that perks no longer affect the gun you're using, they just affect the player. And if you think about this kind of takes out some of the most powerful perks you've actually seen in the past. You know, stuff like sleight of hand, that was always it was almost a must for me. Steady aim was always great. The effects that those perks actually gave you are no longer available through perks, they're actually available through attachments, which I'm going to talk about more as we get closer and closer to the game. So this year's perks actually only affect the player, and one of the big problems you guys will probably know from the last couple of Call of Duty, specifically Black Ops, Ghost was really bad, and then in Modern Warfare 3 Assassin was pretty bad as well. But this year they've really nerfed the whole kind of stealth system perks. You know, I'm going to talk about those in a minute because there's a couple in tier 1. So as you can see, the perks are on the left of the screen. I'm just going to go through them quickly. You've got Flak Jacket, Ghost, Blind Eye, Hardline and Lightweight. And one thing I should state before I actually move on is that there aren't going to be any pro perks in this year's game. So the benefits I'm going to be listing now are going to be the only ones you're going to get. There isn't going to be any pro perks. So firstly, Flak Jacket, take less explosive damage. This is pretty much what it was like in Black Ops, and you know, for me, Flak Jacket was actually a must in Black Ops. You know, I played quite a lot of domination, I was quite an objective player, you know, jumping on those flags. Flak Jacket really helps, and I think it's going to be really strong in this first tier. Because I have found that in tryout games, the grenades are just like a little bit stronger than in the Infinity War games. Next one is Ghost, and Ghost means you're not going to be detected by enemy UAVs. However, it's only going to be when you're moving. So this is a really interesting kind of proposition, and this is something that I'm so for. You know, Ghost as an aggressive perk, it's really annoying because it's so good, but the worst thing about Ghost is when you got someone sitting in the corner camping and they're no longer going to be invisible on the radar. So that's great news. It's just great news for any kind of pro Call of Duty player, you know, someone that likes running around and rushing. Really excited for this perk. May even use it. You know, if I'm actually going to be rushing, there's going to be no reason why people shouldn't be using Ghost, and you know, hopefully we're just going to stop people sitting in the corners. And even if they are sitting in the corners, they're going to be appearing on the minimap. So really pleased about that, and this is the first of many kind of nerfs of the whole kind of Ghost perk. So the next perk we've got in this category is Blind Eye, and Blind Eye again was seen in Modern Warfare 3. There was a little bit of complaints that Ghost and Blind Eye were actually in separate tiers, so they've actually moved them into one tier right now, but they've also nerfed Blind Eye. So Blind Eyes mean you're going to be unaffected by AI control kill streaks. So stuff like the attack helicopter, you think of things like that, stuff that's just in the air controlled by the AI, they're actually not going to be able to get the players that were in Blind Eye. However, if you're in a user controlled kill streak like the gunship, you're actually going to be able to still see and kill Blind Eye players pretty easily. So you can see here how this is also been nerfed. The next perk we have in this tier is Hardline, and I think Hardline is going to be one of the dominant perks in this tier. Calling it now, it's probably going to be one of the ones that I'm actually using on the first day the game comes out, and the reason why is because it actually multiplies your score streak. So it looks like it's going to give you a 20% increase on your score. Just means you're going to be getting to those kill streaks a little bit quicker, those score streaks, and just calling them in and getting your kill streaks in and getting lots of kills. So I think Hardline is going to be one of the kind of more popular perks in this tier. Now finally we have Lightweight, and Lightweight we've seen before. In this year it's going to mean that you move faster and take no fall damage. And again, I think that Lightweight, you know, is quite a good perk. You know, I really actually like the idea of moving faster than anyone else. I think it gives you an edge. You know, if you can get around corners quicker, stuff like that, get to choke points quicker, get to bombs quicker when you're playing stuff like Search and Destroy, if you can get to that B flag quicker in domination, it's going to just give you much more of an advantage. I really think the Lightweight again is going to be a pretty decent perk in this tier. So anyway guys, that's pretty much it for tier 1. I'm going to be covering all the tiers separately because there's quite a lot to cover on each one, so I'm going to be doing that 3 separate videos. I'll probably have tier 2 up hopefully tomorrow, so you guys can look forward to that. Really excited for this year's game. You know, the more I talk about it, the more I get excited for it. Hope you guys are getting excited too. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really helps me out, really helps out my channel. Also be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Apart from that, check out some of my previous videos, got a couple of those on screen right now. And I catch you guys with tier 2 analysis tomorrow.